Are you ready for this? I'm really hoping that you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea next to you, or perhaps you want to consider to pause the video and drink a schnapps before watching this. I'm well prepared today. I have my coffee here and I also have a schnapps just in case I need one. Hi, this is Luise Heinze. Welcome to this video. I'm really excited to share my finished Dephemerember 2024 journal today with you. And in this video, we will also find out who has won these scrap packages, which I had for my giveaway for Dephemerember 2024. Just in case you are new to my channel or new to Dephemerember, perhaps you have never heard about that, then let me quickly tell you that all of the information about Dephemerember is again linked below this video. There you can find everything you might want to know. There you can find all of the videos Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, who is my co-host for Dephemerember, and I have published during Dephemerember. And because that question came so often, yes, the videos will stay in the playlists. Yes, the videos will still be available in the future. As long as our channels will exist, those videos will be there. Yeah, so that is nothing which is deleted or so. After Dephemerember is finished, you can still watch that. And of course, you can find additional inspiration by typing hashtag Dephemerember into the YouTube search bar. And with that hashtag, you can also find videos from other YouTube creators, which have created something for the prompts we had during Dephemerember. And then they, published the videos on their channels. So there is a ton of inspiration. And I can only recommend to use the hashtag in the YouTube search bar as well, because there you will find even more ideas next to those we have shown on our channels. And to all of the creators who have joined Dephemerember on YouTube, thank you so much for the effort you have put into your videos and for doing all of that. And of course to all of the others who have posted photos of their projects or made blog posts and that all of that stuff. That is really, really appreciated. And that is just so cool because we can still have this inspiration going around even if Dephemerember now is finished. By the way, don't forget that, Louise. Before I start explaining what we are going to do here, I have to say Barbara has a video on her channel today as well, where she shows her finished Dephemerember journal. You can find the link down below in the description box so that you can watch that as well. And little spoiler, I think our journals are a little bit like siblings, like twins, when we look at the size they have. I don't know. I mean, I know why that happened for my journal. I have absolutely no idea how that could happen for Barbara's journal, but we can find that out together by watching her video. So don't miss that. For the flip through, Barbara has come up with a really, really cool idea. She said, why don't we take 10 questions which we ask ourselves and then answer that during the flip through, and that has to do with this hashtag. I'm really hoping that I can explain this now well enough so that you can understand that, because this is really, really new for me as well. I have never done something like this before. But we shall do the following thing. We shall use this hashtag Dephemerember 2024 recap, so that we then have 10 questions for this hashtag. I will read the questions in this video and answer them. And I will also put those questions in the description box so that you can find them there as well for your own Dephemerember 2024 recap. So that means you can take those questions, then either make a video or another kind of social media content with exactly those questions. And then we can watch that and, get to know what the other people thought about the things and what they answered to those questions. So that means if you want to take the questions and make a video, Then you can take this hashtag, put that into your video description, then it automatically appears above the video title and other people can find that then as well. If you want to make like photos because you don't have a YouTube channel or so, you can do that as well. You can, of course, use this on Instagram as well and put the answers to the questions either in little videos like reels or so, or you can also put that into the caption of your photos. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a video. So you can find your own way to use this hashtag. That will probably make more sense when I come to the questions, but I quickly wanted to explain what this is and how we do that, because before we start with this, I want to do something else, what you also have wished for. And that is a silent flip through of the journal. Many of you have said, okay, we want to know what has happened after Dephemerember was over. What have you done additionally in your journal? But then we want to see a flip through just without talking. And of course, your wish is my command. So I want to include that in this video as well. So I will now first tell you what happened here and why or why not. And then you will see the silent flip through. And after that, we do the questions, you know, but with talking, obviously. And then in the end of the video, there's the giveaway. Drawing the giveaway, the drawing of the giveaway. Do you know what I mean? I have the feeling that my English brain today is not working so well. I think I need more coffee. So, what happened in the journal after the last day of Dephemerember? I can tell you. That is, I can say that really quickly because it is not much. The only thing, and perhaps you think now, what the heck, what is she telling us here? At first glance, that might sound a little bit weird, but I will explain what happened and my thoughts behind that. The only thing I did after we had the last prompt on December 31st was I have taken my prompt list exactly like it was laying on my table. I have folded it in half and I have put it in here into this little pocket which Barbara had created when she made this journal for me. The second thing is I have taken this dragonfly, which Barbara has used to decorate the packaging of the journal, and I have put that here to this little dangle because it had this little hole so that I could easily attach that. That's all. And now you might think, hey, what the heck is that? Or perhaps you have already watched Barbara's video. Then you might wonder why I have not done more in this journal. That has two reasons. And to be honest, first I felt really weird not doing more / telling you what I tell you now. But then I decided that it needs to be exactly like I have done it, and that is good that I decided that for my journal and for myself. The first reason why I haven't done anything in here anymore is the size of the journal. You can see it is so bulky. It's like I've tried to translate something from German to English. I think roly-poly would be a good word. I'm not so sure. My translator told me that that is a good word for what I want to say. I hope that is not weird. So this roly-poly problem is here. If I would have created more things, more ephemera, and put that in here, then it would be impossible to flip through this journal. So it's simply too fat. And that is because I have recorded always for every single prompt, with only one exception, a video in English and a video in German. So that means all of the prompts, except one, are twice in here. That's why this is so fat. When we had a journal for Dephemerember 2 years ago, we decided that we put some comments we got from you below the videos in here, and I really enjoyed that, and I know that Barbara has done that for her journal, and I'm a little bit split, because on the one hand I think it's a really nice idea and it's such a great memory to have comments from you in the journal, but on the other hand I want to have joy when I read your comments and write them into my journal. And if you would be able to feel this, you would be like, you could immediately see that it is nearly impossible to write in here. In the middle here, it would be okay. I could put something under here so that it lays flat. But in the beginning of the journal and also in the end, it's nearly, when all the pages are here on top of each other, it's nearly impossible to write in here. And I first thought, okay, I will do it anyway, and I will go through this struggle, and I will put something under here to be able to write like this. And then I thought, no, why the heck shall I do that? This is my journal, and I can decide what I want to do in here or what I don't want to do in here. And then I decided that I rather spend the time, is that English? For me, it was the better way to spend my time reading your comments on YouTube, because they are there, and they will stay there, instead of spending time struggling with writing in here. Because I then realized that your comments are not more or less worth if they are in my journal or like only on YouTube. What is the difference? Of course, it's a nice memory when you flip through here and when you then can read that directly. But I decided that I can also flip through my journal, have my phone in my hands next to me, and then go through the comments directly on YouTube. And the other thing is that I realized that I can stand behind my opinion also in public. That might sound a little bit weird if you don't have a YouTube channel, or if you don't, if you craft for yourself at home and you don't show that to anyone, you probably haven't had this problem yet. But when you have a YouTube channel and you want to show the people what you have done, then there are also those like expectations. And perhaps some of you have expected that here happened like, magic in the journal after Dephemerember. And it was like, okay, what do they expect? What do I need to do here to make them happy? Because they spend their time, you spend your time watching these videos, and of course you have expectations. But I think what I learned is, I don't think, I'm sure, what I learned is that I can stand behind my opinion, even in the public and even in my videos here. And this is my channel, this is like my home. There's my name on the top of the page. And it's like my home here, and I can do what I want here. So I'm really hoping that you understand that, and that you understand my reasons. And what I also am really hoping is that you can also make those decisions and stand behind them, and that you can say, this is my journal, and then with that, it's my decision what I do in the journal or what I don't do in the journal. And even if I really enjoy watching Barbara's videos, and I know that I will enjoy watching her video from today as well. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that I will sit there and I'm sure I will cry, because your comments are just so cute and so amazing. And one part of myself is wishing for having the comments in the journal as well. Do you know what I mean? And the other half is like, no, it's finished, and it's ready to go into my shelf and then be taken out when I want to flip through it. And that's also such a thing. When I finished the last prompt of Dephemerember, my heart was so full, and I was so satisfied about everything and about the community, about all of the inspiration. Everything was so happy in my heart. And at the same time, I was like, okay, all of that is like if you would take a cup and fill it until here, and one single drop, which would be like too much, would let everything come out. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, this is finished now. The cup is full. It is filled with so many wonderful things. Oh my goodness, I don't want to cry now. But that is, I could cry tears of joy because of this filled cup. And then I thought, okay, that is the point where I need to stop. Do you know this emotion where you think, it is enough. It is enough of all of those positive things. And now I want to close this capture, not for forever, because I can still take this out and flip through it, but I want to close this capture to be able to do something new and to prepare new projects, to go into perhaps a little different direction, into a different theme, into different techniques. I was so looking forward to the things I want to do in 2025 that I thought, okay, this is finished now and everything is good. I don't know if that makes sense. But what makes sense is to give you a silent flip through of this now. And after that, we can answer those 10 questions. And I'm really excited about that because I have never done something like that before. So yeah, let's do the flip through and then we can go into those questions for this hashtag. This is just so crazy. Okay, so then let's do those 10 questions. Question number 1 is, which prompt felt the most personal to you and why? Yeah, I think that is very easy to answer because that is definitely this one here. This was the one with the secret love letter, and I have made this little flip thingy here. And perhaps you also have heard about my discussion with myself about the words flip and flap. This was also, I mean, this was the most personal one, but also I think the most funny one when I think about my own, the things I learned about the English language with this thing here. But writing a love letter is something really personal, and showing that in public is even more personal, I think. And what I have written in this letter, if you haven't seen the video, the letter was for Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. What I have written in this letter is something I would have written without the camera in exactly the same way. You know that I try to share a lot of my emotions on my channel because I think that junk journaling without emotions is just paper, and junk journaling can do way more than just being paper. But, and even if I do that, and when I share parts of my personal life, for example, or when I share emotions, sometimes I need to cry in my videos. And I think that is good. That's part of my journey. Of course, everyone decides that for themselves, how much you want to share on YouTube, or, how private you want to do everything. Of course, that is personal preference. For me, it only works with sharing also personal things, but, that is personal preference. But what I learned here and what I can see here is something which I would have done in exactly the same way, even without the camera. And because of that, this is, something really, 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 really personal. And because of that, it's the most personal prompt. Is that good? I hope so. So let's go to the next question. And please note that I have never done this kind of thing with the questions before. So I need my note paper here so that I can read the questions. And I'm really hoping that I can do this right. Yeah, so Barbara has come up with the idea of this hashtag thing, and I'm really hoping that I can do this here like it needs to be done. So let's see. I will do my best. The second question is, if you could redo one prompt, which one would it be and why? That question is already a little more difficult for me because I think I can't answer that with just one answer. I need 2 answers for that. Because the first answer is, holy moly, I'm trying to learn English, still learning. I would not do any of these prompts again. That is what I was trying to say. That is the first part of my answer. Why? Because I already have done everything twice. One for my English video and one for my German video. For example, there I have done even more than 2 for this prompt, because I have made tiny pieces and then I have spread them throughout the journal. But you can say I have already done everything twice. So for example, for the prompt, which was this, with the one with the snippet roll and the woven flower, I have made this here and this. So you can see it's the same idea, and it turned out a little differently, because I didn't want to do it exactly. I think I can't even do that. Doing something like twins or so, that is not possible for me. I can't do this 100% the same thing twice, but you can see the similarity of those, and I have already done everything twice. So that is the reason why I would not redo any of these. But the second part of my answer is I would like to do all of those again. That might sound a little bit weird at first glance, but when I look at the things I have done here, for example, this here with this special stenciling technique, I definitely want to do this again. I definitely want to try out things like this collage here, for example, which was done with only digital paper and only printed elements, or let's say nearly only. And this journal is such a big source of inspiration for me that I can say I can go through this like a Bible of inspiration or so. And then I can see, okay, here I have done this and that technique, and I want to do that again, but probably not in this kind of ephemera piece. Perhaps I will say, okay, here I have used photo paper, or it's sticker paper. What is this? Was that a sticker? That doesn't matter. And I have made a special technique on here, which I want to redo, and that's for nearly all of the techniques I have here, or all of the ideas I have here. But when I redo it, I will, if I will redo it, I will probably not do like this thing with the flip thing, yeah? Then it will be on another project, for example, on a tag or on a journal page, or I will make an envelope from this or whatever, but not exactly this same thing. Because I think my brain would go totally crazy if I would say, okay, I make another thing like this with this little closure here where you can open it, if you can open it, what happened here, and you can flip this out. If someone would tell me I need to do this again, it would drive me totally crazy, because that would be too, for me that would be too boring. I would probably always end up with something where perhaps this is a starting point, but then the end result would be totally different. But that's me. So then the third question is, which prompt surprised you the most in how it turned out? That is an easy answer. That is definitely this one here, where I showed you this stenciling technique I found the day before I made this. Everything started with a little accident / happy coincidence. I don't know. When I made this Dubai chocolate tag, and I had something here on the background which was really unexpected. It looked like a fail in the beginning, and then I found out the coolest stenciling technique I've ever seen. And then the next day after this, we made this. So I think, is this the thing from the German video? Perhaps, but I have the other one as well. I don't remember so well which was in the German and which was in the English video. I'm sorry. But I made this by stenciling wet in wet with 2 stencils over each other with texture paste, and then I got these really, really cool texture fragments here for my prompt. And that was definitely the most surprising thing regarding to the technique, regarding to what I learned here, but also regarding to the views of the video. You know, when you create something and you sit here and you have your channel, then you are in public somehow, yeah? And of course, you make this, I made this for myself. I do what I do here for a living, yes, but I also do this whole thing for myself, yeah? Without junk journaling, I couldn't live, yeah? So that is a fact. But of course, it's also a part of this whole thing, how many views a video gets. And that was really, really surprising for me, because that video was really, really successful, and a lot of people have watched that. And I think also people who haven't joined Dephemerember, so people who came new to my channel with that video. And that, of course, makes me even more proud, because that seems to be something you are interested in. And of course, I am happy to share the things I find out with you so that you can try that out as well. And so many of you have left comments that this technique is new to you and that you haven't seen something like that before. That makes me proud. And of course, that is also surprising because when I find something like this out, I can be excited about that. I can tell you that in a video, but that doesn't automatically mean that you like it as well. You could also sit there and think, what is that? I don't get it. I don't like it. Yeah. And that is always a thing with every video I upload. There's this, this question, will they like it? Or is it only me who likes this technique? And because of that, this is definitely the most surprising thing. And I'm still really in love with how this turned out. And we will definitely try some more experiments with this technique in 2025. I can already promise that. And for the materials I want to explore more in the future, I would say everything you can print on with your printer. Everything where you can make digital paper into your own, experimenting with digital paper on different surfaces. Here, for example, that's, I think, a really good example. There happened, somehow a happy accident, something which ended in an experiment, which was really, really interesting for me. And I would like to find more ways to use digital paper, because I think digital paper is something really, really great in our junk journals. I know there will be many people now who say, if you use digital paper, that's then not a junk journal anymore, blah, 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 blah. Goodbye. If you think that, you are probably not on the right channel, because I love using digital paper, not only because, it's part of my job. I sell digital paper, obviously. Yeah, I make a living from YouTube and my shop. And a big part of that is digital paper, yes. But why do I have that in my shop? I mean, I could also sell physical things in my shop. Would also be possible to make a living from that. But I decided for making digital paper because that brings so many possibilities. I mean, you can reach so many different styles with one and the same printable just by using different mediums to throw on or different mediums to print on. And that makes that, for me, that you can find your style even better. Somehow it brings a lot of additional memories into a journal in my eyes. My digital papers are also, I would say, how can I bring that into words? There goes a lot of my artwork, which I created physically, into my printables. There goes a lot of personal stuff into my printables. Sometimes you can't see that you can't see that anymore when you see the finished printable. When a printable comes out from your printer and you haven't seen, for example, my video where I explain how I made the paper and what is the story behind it, then you probably won't see that there is something from myself in the printables. But that is not the point. It's not important that you see that. But that is for me something where I can also express myself with making digital paper. And that is something which is really important to me. And I also want to, use this chance that I can provide something to you, especially to those people who don't have access to original materials. Let's say I make a printable with original vintage documents, like for example Barbara's printable, which is in here, with these original documents. This here, for example, this is from Barbara's shop, and there are people out there who can't buy something like this as an original on a flea market, for example, because they don't have access, or you have health problems and you can't leave the house to go to a flea market. And for all of those, I think that is a really, really great thing that we can provide something like this as a digital paper. So that was probably a little bit more than the question was asking for, but I wanted to mention that as well. So Then the next question is, which prompt made you step out of your comfort zone the most? Easy answer. That is definitely the one with the slow stitching and the paperback handles. I am surprised about myself that I made more than one piece. No, I can't find one. I have made several pieces for that prompt, and then I have spread them through the journal. Let me see. Slow stitching is something where I really struggle. And to be honest, when I made that, where are they? I mean, what the heck here? Here, for example, this is one of the pieces I created for that prompt. Slow stitching is something that really wrecks my nerves. I somehow can't handle that. My freak is freaking out completely when I only think about slow stitching. But yeah, I experienced that I really like the result, even if the process was a little bit, I was really exhausted when I had finished this. And the paperback handles, I mean, you have seen that in the video, and you have heard my thoughts about that in the video when I created this. It was out of my comfort zone and surprising as well, because I really love the finished result. But if you want to hear 100% of the truth, I will probably not do this again, because it was a nice experience, but then, the cup is full, you know what I mean? And I will probably not do this again. But this was really, it was really exceptional, and it was really, like, you would try to climb a hill with knowing how high the hill is, and you know that you are not such a good hill climber. Is that English? But that's my answer to this. So then, question number 6. What's one thing you've learned about yourself through this process? Here, I'm, to be honest, not so sure how this question is meant. Does this mean through the process of making this, or through the whole process of making the journal? I'm not so sure, but I think my answer would be the same. And that is, I mean, no matter if it's regarding to this project, this specific project, or the whole thing, my answer is I have learned to stand behind my opinion, and that you also sometimes have to give yourself a challenge, because this definitely was a challenge. Doing every prompt in this journal twice, with knowing that the journal will explode one day, was definitely a challenge. But I also had my opinion that I wanted to do this exactly like I have done it. Also with doing 2 videos and doing everything twice, that was a decision I made for myself. And when I look back to this, I can see that that was a good decision, and that everything went totally fine. But at the same time, I think it's good when you build an opinion for yourself, and when you can say, I managed to do this, I had this challenge, now I'm proud that I have this here, but my opinion is I will not do it again. And I think that is really important, to find your own style, your own way of journaling. Also, for example, that I said I don't write comments in here, and I don't try to manage journaling in here. That is also a decision I made, and an opinion I now have for myself, and I can grow with that. Or by having this opinion, I already have grown. Do you know what I mean? Also, this thing that, many people say, what is a junk journal? For what do you use a junk journal? Why don't you journal more in your journals? That is a question I get really, really often. And in the meantime, I have my opinion, and I have found an answer to this question, because my journaling is not writing. And there are different ways of expression, and there are different ways and that is good. Yeah, I mean, if we all would journal in our journals and there would be no collages, no pockets, and everyone would do the same, that would be totally boring. But when many people tell you you need to journal in your journal so that it is a journal in the end, then you can get confused as well. And for me, it's really important that you do your own thing in your journals. And if I will decide tomorrow that I want to journal more in my journals, then that's also good. And I can decide that because this is my journal and this is my life. This is my journey. Do you know what I mean? And I find that really, really important. So then, question number 7. Oh my goodness. That is this special question. If you could send one page from your journal to someone as a gift, which one would it be and why? And to be able to answer this question, I need to put an addition to that question. Otherwise, you can't understand that so well. So I would interpret this question like, if you could send one page from your journal to someone as a gift, which one would it be and why? And to whom would you send the page? I need to add that to the question, otherwise my answer makes no sense. So it is, again, I feel like a broken record, but it is again this page. And I think before I can answer that, I need a schnapps first. Because I'm a little bit afraid of saying that for several different reasons. Oh my goodness, that is a lot. Perhaps we drink only half of this. It is, oh my goodness. It is nearly lunchtime here. I haven't had breakfast, so I can't guarantee that the following part of this video will stay professionally after I have this. Without breakfast, this could be dangerous, but I need this, otherwise I can't say what I want to say. Of course, I'm just kidding. I'm still trying to learn to be a little bit funny in English, because the German people who know me say about me that I am funny. And I like that. And that is part of my character. So I'm trying to be funny in English as well. More or less successful. So the answer is, I would like to send this page to Tim. Feels better once I have said it. Because, I mean, I needed this schnapps because that could sound a little bit weird when I say I would like to send this page to Tim. And if you hear the reason, then it could sound even more weird. I would like to send this to him because I think that he has never done this technique. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that he has never done this. And perhaps you know that he is a really, really big role model for me. Not only for what he is doing for the crafty community. I have not only learned a ton of techniques from him, but I also learned that his products can help me to find my own style. I found part of my voice here on YouTube because of him. He did many things which shaped my creative character. And not only that, also on a personal base, he is a really, really, really special person in my life. I can say he's one of the most important people in my life. Even if we haven't met in person yet. I'm not giving up on that dream, but what I'm trying to say is, if you create something here on your own desk and you find something out where you are 99.9% sure that someone else hasn't seen that yet, then you want to share it. I did that by making the video, sharing it with all of you, but I would be so interested in if he knows this or not. And that's the reason why I would like to send this to him. And I don't know how I can describe this feeling when I think about that he would have this in his hands and then he would stand in his studio and try this, and perhaps he then realizes that he hasn't known that before, and then he finds it interesting and nice and cool, and that would be really cool for me if he would try this out. And yeah, Oh, this is a really honest video. I mean, all of my videos are honest, but this is, this is something really personal. And shall we move on to the next question so that I don't need to cry? I think that is a good idea. So, question number 8. Which prompt would you recommend to someone new to junk journaling, and why? Well, I think it would be good if that was something, if that was something where you, on the one hand, don't need so many fancy supplies. So if you are new to junk journaling and you have already collected some things, but your stash is not so wide, then I think this with the blackout poetry would be really great, because for this, I think everything which is used here, you can somehow find around you in your house. Because for this, you need a book page, and I think everyone has a book page at home. You could, this is a Tim Holtz portrait, but you could also, of course, cut out such a face from a magazine or a book. You don't necessarily need this wax seal tool. You could even use a button, for example, here. So I think the supplies here are really basic and really simple, but at the same time, this is a really great starting point for more things. This one here I made in the German video, and with the same thoughts like in the English video, I did it like so. I made this little poem, and from the poem, I went further with the theme of this thing and with the look of this thing. This here, the poem itself says something about a letter. And that is why this is shaped like an envelope and like a letter. Really abstract, I know, but here is also an envelope included, so that the whole look of this fits to the poem. And the same thing I did in the English video, where suddenly Mr. Chester came to the screen. And as you can see, this turned out totally different. Sorry. And that is why I think that this is really a cool thing for a junk journal newbie. Because when you have your poem, you can read that, and then from there you can make your further decisions about what you want to use here. I have used a portrait as well, yes, but here's additionally this house and this little door here and so on. And all of these elements came from what I had on the book page. And I think that is really good. Also, it's not only for newbies, but you can find ideas really easily with something like blackout poetry. And yeah, that's why I would recommend this for a newbie. And as I said, you don't need fancy supplies. You can find everything at home, yeah? And you can also exchange these things. These are die cuts, but you could even stamp this. You could cut out some flowers from a book or so. You don't necessarily need die cuts, yeah? Everything I have here, you could substitute, is that probably the word, with something else which you can find at home. So then, question number 9. What's your favorite memory or moment from collaborating during Dephemerember? That's definitely all of our cheese moments we had with Barbara and also with you. This cheese running gag somehow appeared. I think Barbara and I, we don't even know anymore how that came to life, but it happened somehow. And then it was like a running gag through the whole Dephemerember 2024. That is a really cool thing. And your reactions about that, that is priceless. And the other thing is all of the hours of video calls I had with Barbara for preparing Dephemerember. This preparation thing was really time consuming. It was really, really, sometimes difficult for us to find the best way for making this whole thing. I mean, we are always looking for making Dephemerember into something really special for you. We want you to have a really nice time during December together with us, and we want you to, have all of this fun. We also have. We try to bring the fun from our desks to your desks, and of course, we also want to share a part of our friendship with you, because we all are friends, and no matter where we are in the world, we are a whole family, and that is something we want to share and bring to your hearts. And I think all of these hours of preparation and all of these video calls we had, they have been a really massive part for shaping this whole thing. And that's why I really appreciate that, and why that is a really, really great memory. And of course, with preparing something so special like Dephemerember, you also get better friends with your collaboration partner. So the last question is then, if you could describe your journal in 3 words, what would they be? Let me clarify that. Barbara has come up with these 10 questions. And of course, I'm really appreciative that she has done that, because that saved a little bit of my time. I'm trying to make a joke. But if I read this, when I read this, if you could describe your journal in 3 words, I have the feeling that she is a little bit mad at me, because how shall I do that? I mean, that I have really problems to describe something in only a few words, because my brain is just, a little bit weird, and it wants to throw out some more thoughts, no matter what it is. So let me try this, okay? So the first word is roly-poly. And I'm still really hoping that my translator did a good job, and that is really a word which is, which you can use for something like this. The second word is friendship. To be honest, I'm pretty proud that a thing like Dephemerember can bring so much joy and so much friendship and spread that all over the world. That is just amazing. The third word is probably not only one word, but in German you could translate it in German you could say it in one word, and that is Wiederholungsgefahr. That is one word, but in English, English is weird. It's risk of repetition. This risk that you think, oh my goodness, I have joined Dephemerember 2024 and I need to do that in 2025 as well. There's this really big risk of addiction as well. And that is something I find really fascinating. As soon as you come into this flow of working with the prompts, you have the feeling that you want more and more and more, like with a real addiction, and that you also don't want to stop, and that you want to repeat that in the coming year. That is for me really extreme. And yeah, that is with that my third word. I have the feeling that Barbara will say, Louise, that was not 3 words, but I have to live with that now. So that was that. So again, just a little reminder, if you want to do this thing with the 10 questions as well, please use this hashtag. I will also put that in the description box below the video, and there you will also find those 10 questions so that you can copy and paste them and use them for your own content with this hashtag. So then let's find out, last but not least, let's find out who has won these scrap packages. Okay, so I have this little comment picker machine here on my phone. I've already pasted the link here so that we now can click here and then we will find out who has won the first package. Delia Kilconi, my garden nook. Hopefully I said that right. Congratulations. So you have written, I have enjoyed Dephemerember this year more than any other. I think it's because of feeling like I know both of you so much more. Oh, that is so cute. Thank you so much for all of your dedication and time to this wonderful project. My favorite parts were the episode when you were channeling Barbara and she was channeling you. The freebies, as always, were amazing, and of course, laughing and crying with both of you. I'm not sure that I would suggest any changes. It keeps getting better each year. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for this sweet comment. This is just amazing. Oh. Don't cry, Louise, don't cry. So congratulations to you. Please write me an email within a week from today. My email address is down below in the description box. And please give me the information where I shall send this, so your address, so that I know where to send this. Okay, so that was winner number 1. So then I will paste the link of the German video, because, you know, 2 packages, 2 videos, you know, the first winner was from the English video, and now we go on with the German video. Jutta Landis 2147, congratulations. I'm trying to translate this here into English because this is obviously German. Dear Louise, I especially liked about this year that we had the weekends for doing the prompts we couldn't do during the week, yeah, so that there was time on the weekends to do the prompts. The topics have been exciting and they brought me out of my comfort zone, which is something I really, really appreciate to read. That is really, really wonderful when something like that happens. I am looking forward to the next year of Dephemerember. Thanks for your work and for your advices. Many greetings and a happy new year, Jutta. So Jutta, if you accidentally watch this video, even if you have written this in German, please write me an email to my email address. The address is down below in the description box. You have 1 week from today to send me your address so that I know where to send the package. Yeah, so that's that. And with that, I wish you a very, very creative day. And yeah, perhaps we will see the next time with another creative idea. Have a great day. Bye-bye.